Hello, hello.
Hey,
We're here.
Bob is back. Bob is back. How are we
Yeah.
doing, Bob? I've missed you, my friend.
Well, I was a little bit sick for a while, but I'm better now. I still get out of breath quite a bit.
Okay.
Uh, I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas out there.
Yes, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays.
And what are we talking about tonight, Margaret? Since a bunch of people are going to be getting Christmas puppies and
Yes,
dogs.
sir. I know. Yes, sir. What's the biggest topic we get from Christmas puppies? It's housebreaking. So we're going to talk about no more pee on the floor.
There you go. You want to
Yes.
start this off, or you just want to go back and forth?
Well, I'll start a little bit. Whenever you want to chime in, just chime in.
All
And,
right. That
we
sounds
got
good.
this. So first thing we talk about with housebreaking is scheduling. So we want to schedule the food and water, correct? Do you give your clients a schedule like to mark down when they go potty, when they
No,
feed, when they
ma'am.
water?
The,
Okay.
the reason being is let's face it, we don't know what these people's schedules are. I don't get into their private life, who goes to work when, things like that, and when do you come home. Um, I just tell them basically, uh, with a puppy, and I'm going to get a lot of feedback on this, but I really don't give a shit. you know, um, I only feed a puppy twice a day, and I give them water 3 times a day. Okay.
Yep.
And I don't limit, I'm not limiting the dog's water. Like I tell my clients, I don't care if you put a 50-gallon aquarium down. He can put water wings on your puppy, let him drink all he wants, but he gets a half hour to do it. And if he doesn't eat and drink in that half hour, he loses it. And after a while, he's going to realize when that food and water's down, I better take advantage of it.
Yep. Just like
And
the
a lot of
food.
people, you run into it, and I'm sure you ran into it. Well, I can't do that. My
Yeah.
vet said this. My vet said that.
My breeder said this. Yes.
Well, number one, we got to start somewhere. This is only temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people they don't understand that. This is not going to go on for the rest of the dog's life, but we have to start somewhere.
Exactly.
You know,
And I'll just say, I don't ask like their work schedule or anything like that. I'll just say it takes this amount of time, like an hour and a half to 2 hours for water to go through, and it takes 8 to 10 hours for food to go through, depending on the dog and the puppy, and could be quicker, could be longer. But if they're having a hard time you know, with housebreaking, I'll say, well, tell me when you feed, when you water, when you let the dog out. And sometimes I can find, there is getting too detailed. But the biggest thing we say is catch them in the act of having the accident.
and how do we do that? Supervise.
Lies. Yes,
You're not
exactly.
going to leave a 2-year-old run around the house not supervised. Why?
Exactly.
Number one, they can get into too much. It can be going, a little toddler, they can be gone forever and you don't know where your kid's at. They can get hurt. I know it's not housebreaking. That's not the thing with a toddler.
Yeah,
But supervised.
exactly.
If you're going to be in the living room, try to keep your puppy in the living room. Let him out every hour, whether he's got to go or not. And don't sit in the yard with him and say, go potty. Come on, go potty. Come on, puppy, hurry up. It's cold out here. Go potty.
Yeah, keep talking and distracting your dog from smelling the ground and yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, if you have a little dog, little tiny puppy, whether it be a toy breed, 8 weeks old, whatever, get a puppy playpen.
Mm-hmm.
Put it out in the backyard in one area. Don't move it around.
Right.
He starts going to the bathroom in that area. When we get rid of the playpen, he's going to go to that area to go potty. because he's used to going in that area.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So if you don't have time to watch your dog outside and you don't have a fenced yard, get a good puppy playpen and utilize it.
Yep.
And don't take him out there for 1-2 minutes and say, well, I'll bet he's not going. And then they bring him in and he goes to the bathroom. You know?
Yep.
Get that too.
Yep.
You
I
know?
don't know what to do. I take him out. I give him like 45 minutes to go to the bathroom. I come in and 10 minutes later, he poops on the floor.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, put him in the crate for 10 minutes and take him back out again. He's anticipating that this is repetition and consistency, people.
Yep.
How many times have we said it?
You know, when you let your dog in, you know he didn't go to the bathroom, and you let him in and he goes within the 10 minutes, bring him in, put him in the kennel, wait 10, 15 minutes and let him back outside.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, I can't put the dog in the kennel. And you know what I tell my clients? Then I can't help you.
Right.
You know,
if you're not going to follow
into this, that you were going to do what I say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the professional. You're
Amy
a
does
dog
the same
owner.
thing to me.
That's Christopher. He kind of runs this show. So, but I know that this show isn't going to be that long, and we can get into some other things because housebreaking. I'm going to explain the way I tell my people, Margaret.
Okay.
And my clients, and then you can explain the way you do it to your people. Okay. What I tell my people is food twice a day, water 3 times a day. Do not limit the water. He can have all the water he wants, but he gets a half hour to drink it. I want you to get a high quality dog food. The cheaper the dog food you buy, like Gravy Train, or a lot of people, oh, well, it's pedigree. It's not good.
Uh-huh.
Okay. There's a lot of filler. It's not the proper diet for a dog. I don't care what dog food company calls me. I don't care. But if you feed a high quality dog food, you're feeding less. It doesn't require as much food as the other brands. If they eat less, they go to the bathroom less. There's a lower salt and sodium content in the food, which means he's going to drink less water. So feed a premium dog food, water 3 times a day. So as soon as you get up in the morning, you're going to let your puppy out of the kennel. You're going to bring him outside. While he's outside, your wife, husband, whatever, whoever takes the dog out, they can be getting the puppy's food together. Put it down. Feed the dog. After he's done eating in about 10 minutes, let him outside again. And if you have a fenced backyard and you know the puppy's going to be safe and he's not going to get into anything, give him the yard, but I recommend getting a puppy playpen. Put him in a puppy playpen. He's not going to die out there, people, if he's out there over 10 minutes. Do what you got to do in the morning. Do your routine. Right before you leave for work, let him back in, and he goes directly into his kennel. The first one home, you give him food and, well, I would say just water. I don't know if anybody's home in the afternoon, but I need to get that dog to have water 3 times a day. Now, after you give him his water, you give him his food, he goes back outside. No food and water after 7 o'clock in the evening. And take him out for frequent walks every hour, whether he's got to go or not. Do not sit out there and just, good dog, hurry up, go potty, it's cold outside. Don't carry on conversations. All you're doing is distracting him. Mm-hmm. So remember, water 3 times a day, food twice a day, no water after 7 o'clock in the evening, or food, wherever, just don't do it. Or you're going to have messes in the middle of the night in the kennel, and then you got to clean it up. So I recommend nothing after 7 o'clock. Right before you go to bed, you let him back out, and he goes back in the kennel. When you are at home, supervise. keep that dog in the same room you're going to be. Utilize gates in your house if you have to, block doorways off. Don't say, oh, well, I closed my bedroom doors. He can still go down your hallway. I don't want it. I want the dog supervised. Okay? Margaret, it's all you.
All right. Well, I pretty much do the same thing. And then I'll even have people, I think we've discussed this before. I've had people even tie the leash onto their belt and put a leash on the dog. And so the puppy follows them everywhere they go. And that way you're paying attention to what the puppy is doing, pee or poop. I know little dogs, especially dachshunds, are so.
I got little ones going. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like, huh. Little dogs sometimes are really quick, and especially like dachshunds are really low to the ground, or corgis or things like that. So you really want to pay attention. My first client in North Carolina, one of my first ones with housebreaking was like a Bichon type dog, and she had like a, the family room, or is it the family room or the living room you don't spend much time in? I forget. But anyway, the room you don't spend much time in, it had white, pristine carpet. I was like, oh boy, this is going to be, I better do a good job on this one.
Yeah.
But through, working obedience, you do, the obedience with your dog, you're opening the line of communication. So therefore, the housebreaking, they're going to understand you better. And you're going to have that language, you're speaking to each other. So if you can't pay attention to your dog, then where does it need to go? It needs to go into the crate. So when you're sleeping, you're not home, or you can't pay attention, it needs to go in the crate. So a lot of people, if they find an accident or whatever later, then the family's like arguing with each other. You were supposed to watch them. No, you were supposed to watch them. Have, times where, okay, so-and-so watches at this time, so-and-so watches at this time, so that way no one's confused. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do, and the puppy's going to get housebroken that much quicker. As the puppy grows, we're going to increase the time, like Bob said, like every hour or so, and you want to increase that time. If you keep going the same hour or so through the first year of the dog's life, then the dog's not going to learn to hold it. So that's one thing we need to teach the puppy, is how to hold and not have an accident. So eventually you can work them out of the crate. But right now we are on the beginning. And don't put papers down in your house. Don't put pads down in your house if you want the dog to only go outside. Do not start a habit that you don't want them to do later. Dogs grow into problems. They don't grow out of problems. Okay? So we're going to have a good quality food. Do not overthink food. If you go to a pet store and they show you 50 different kinds of food, then just go ask your vet. Talk to your vet. Ask them what kind of food. There are so many brands of food out there these days.
Right.
So you want to get the first 3 or 4 ingredients is mostly what it's made of. I learned that when I first worked at a pet store back in 1993. Okay. First 3 or 4 ingredients, pay attention to those. No byproducts, no corn, and no gluten. Those are the things that I don't like either.
And no chicken lips.
Yeah, that's the byproducts. No chicken feet, chicken lips. You'd be amazed. Like, there was this one food that had it was meat meal. And I'm like, what exactly is meat meal? That was scary. I was like, okay, we're going to pass over this.
I've read it, chicken meal. Chicken byproducts. Like, what?
And you can imagine how your dog's digesting that, and how, the food is going through his system, and is he going to be able to hold that as well as eating a good food with,
Well, in a lot of the companies, chicken flavored. Don't get chicken flavored.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get beef flavored. It's just, they put it in a vat of stuff that smells like chicken, whatever, and it's not in the product itself.
We could have a show just on, we won't say what brands they are, because I don't know if we would get in trouble for that, but we
Oh,
can.
we get in trouble for
By
Look
the
at a
way,
Facebook
meat
gel.
meal is what the astronauts eat.
Oh, really? Take pictures.
Oh.
Go to the pet store and take pictures of ingredients, and we can have a show on like ingredients in dog food.
The other thing I wanted that we kind of forgot, and I feel this is very important, when you let your dog out to go to the restroom,
Mm-hmm.
use the same door.
Yes.
Don't take them out the front door one day or take them out the back door the next time and take them out the side door the next time and through the garage, and one door. Use that door.
Because then what they're going to do is they're going to go to that door and start. If you have them sit, you're teaching them the command sit. I always have the dogs, like sit before they go outside. Then they'll start going there and sitting down in front of the door because that's the last thing they do before the door opens. Pavlov's theory. Okay,
Yeah.
The bell, meat, dog salivates. You can also teach them to ring a bell,
Well, I would.
but that's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I had a lady that it was probably one of my furthest lessons I had to go to. Took me about an hour and 20 minutes to get there.
Wow.
This woman lived out there. Well, she had a real nice lab. And she said, "But I just don't understand it." I let him back in, and within 2 minutes, he's ringing that bell, and he's ringing the bell, and ringing the bell. And you know what I told her? I said, "Don't tell me. You let him out." So he was training you that every time you rang that, he was saying, "Hey, lady, let me out."
I want to go smell this or do this or do that.
No. The thing is, the lady worked all day. The husband was disabled. And they made a bad choice. It was a great dog. I'm not saying labs are bad dogs. They're great.
I love yellow labs. Yes.
Exercise.
Yeah.
They want to go play. They're high energy.
Mm-hmm. Especially the hunting lines.
Yeah. I mean, I said, don't let them out no more. And then she said,
it needs to be when you're the pack leader, so I get it. Yeah.
I said, don't, just because he rings that bell, do not let him back out, back outside. Don't do it. And then she come up with, and I think you brought this up a while ago, because that's the last time we did a show when I got sick. But lady puts her coat on. I have a lesson right now that same thing, like she put her coat on. She had a routine what she would do.
Oh, geez.
She'd grab her keys, she'd grab her purse, and if my French, a dog went apeshit. Oh my God, Mom's leaving. Am I going to go? And biting at her coat. And 2 customers now did that. So the way I told her to work it, mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 2 minutes or 1 minute a day. Go in the middle of the day when you're at home and put your coat on and just walk around the house. Drive that dog nuts. Then pick your keys up and do the same thing, and then take them off, everything, and sit back down on the couch. But he knows every time you put that coat on, he knows you're leaving, and he's panicking. He don't want you to go,
Yep.
So, just don't get into a routine like that, but stay in a routine with the housebreaking.
And here's one too. I tell my clients, don't treat your dog for going potty outside, because I've heard, like, especially female dogs can do this. They can fake it, so then they'll get a treat, and then they pee 20 minutes later in the house because they didn't really pee when they went out the first time.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I forgot to bring up too, because a lot of people are going to ask this or wonder, what happens when he goes to the bathroom in the house? Well, since he's supervised, you're going to see him go.
Mm-hmm.
If you have him in obedience training, use that firm no. That usually will make him stop, with a sharp no. and then mat up what he did. Do not rub his nose in it. He
Right.
has no idea what you're doing. So mat up what he did with a paper towel, or pick up the poop if he was doing that. Take him outside. Put it on the ground. When he goes to it and smells it, praise him. And what are you doing? Just like anything, you're showing the difference between right and wrong. Okay? You
Mhm.
can't just discipline. So the dog, if he goes to the bathroom in the house and you just say, oh, no, let's go outside, and you put him outside, he's going to think, well, hell, I pee on the floor. I get to go out. But if he gets that firm no and then praised outside, he starts getting, if I go out here, I get a good boy, I get scratched on the head, I get played with, I'm a good puppy. But in there's that word no. That means I did something wrong.
Exactly.
You've got to show right from wrong. That's all there is to it, or there's no learning going on. That's the way I look at it. What do you recommend?
With catching them in the act, I do the hard clap, loud sounds, just like if someone was to drop a book and surprise you, your whole body's going to tighten up.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's going to stop peeing. And then I tell them, with pee, like don't waste time cleaning up right then. You need to get, let's go outside, take him out to go potty, and then shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, don't start having a conversation on how they screwed up in the house and this,
Right.
that, and the other, and oh my God. So just go out there to the spot. You want your spot that you want him to go potty, and then when he goes, do not praise him while he's going potty. Right. What does a puppy do when you start going, good boy? He's going to start being like, oh, we're going to play, and he's going to stop peeing.
Right.
Wait till he finishes and calm praise, good job, good boy,
Exactly.
And then
the reason why I like having the people clean it up, okay, or mat it up, and then just, it doesn't have to be a thorough cleaning and do what you got to do. Just mat it up real quick, get the dog outside. But once they bring that paper towel outside, I tell them, find a rock, put a rock on it.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time you bring them out, walk them to that area or put it in his playpen. Okay, so he realizes, oh, I peed here, and it's going to be easier for him. That's my philosophy in it.
Yeah, another thing you could do too is if you have a friend that has a dog. Of course, everybody's got a friend that has a dog.
Yeah.
Have them come over and pee in your backyard, and then your dog may encourage your dog to go in the same place. And also, if they have another dog, they will learn from the older dog.
Do you want the friend or the dog to go and pee in the backyard?
Well, if you have friends like mine, they pee in my backyard anyway.
Oh, Lord. So, yeah, I'll tell people, don't totally count on the older dog to teach your puppy to go potty, but there are things that your puppy is going to learn from the older dog, because they do teach each other. So I tell them, wait until your dog you have now is the way you want them to be, till they're trained and they're in good, consistent behavior and potty training and everything. Then get a new puppy, and it'll be that much easier.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's very good. Anything else you want to touch base on, since you haven't seen me in a while?
I know. Gosh, what can we talk about, bud? If you have, talking about digestion and sorry to say, the poop control, if you're getting, I even ran into this because we all forget, if you're getting good food, good quality food, then you go and buy milk bones.
Yeah.
Okay. your dog's system, every dog's system is different. So if my dog does well on a certain food, your dog doesn't mean your dog's going to do well on a certain food, you know. So try to stay, if your dog's good with a certain food, try to stay with the treats that are consistent with that food.
Right. You know, some dogs are real sensitive to that. German Shepherd I have for sale right now, Axel. He's a level 1 protection dog, dynamite dog. You've probably seen pictures of him. But that dog, if you give him 2 milk bones, man, it's like waterfalls coming out of this dog's butt. Not just one day. He'll have it for a day and a half.
Wow.
One day, one of my trainers gave him that much of a hot dog. That much, just as a treat for doing a good
threw
job.
him off, didn't it?
Threw him off completely. The only thing this dog can eat is I'm feeding him, you know, the wilderness salmon. That did good. And the lady who had him before, I knew the dog had a sensitive stomach, but the vet tried this, then a science diet, digestive something. And that stuff was close to $90 a bag.
Yeah.
You know, and the vet, chicken and rice. Nothing did this dog any good.
Wow.
Now, finally, his digestion is all right, but he's got to stay on that wilderness or forget it, you know. And I know people don't want to spend the high dollars on premium food. Like right now, I don't know what it is down there in Florida, Margaret, but for that dog food that I'm feeding Axel at a pet store around here, I'm not going to say a name, but it's I might as well say $70 a bag for a 25-pound bag.
For a 25-pound?
Yep.
I thought you were going to say 40.
No, 25-pound bag.
Wow.
So Tilly, my mind just went blank. Anyway,
that's okay.
My Malinois, I'm sorry. She'll eat anything. She's eating Imes now and loving it. She looks great on it. She's eating the lamb and rice. I switched her over to it to try. I was going through 2 25-pound bags feeding those 2 dogs.
Yeah.
You know, 2 bags a month. I'm paying $140 on dog food.
Yeah, I had a client in Texas when I worked there. I think it was right before you came back or something. And I had a lady that had 2 labs, and she was feeding just a dog food from the grocery store, you know.
Yeah.
And like dog chow or something. And she was like 6 cups a day.
Unbelievable.
Per dog. That's 12 cups a day, just because the bag is half the price of, say, we were selling Eukanuba then.
Yeah.
But like one of my dogs is on from Whitefish and Potato. And I showed her the dog food we had there, the Eukanuba, and I said, now you see the face value of the bags, but look at how much less he has to eat of this because there is more protein in this. She could cut that in half. It was three cups a day per dog.
Yeah, the protein and fat content is a little higher.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like going to unless it you go hunting, you have hunting dogs that are, need the extra protein and that kind of thing.
Right.
But you go too much protein, and it's a little hard on them if they're not real active like hunting dogs like you have.
Well, another thing too, and I wanted to warn everybody this. The veterinarian knows your dog. If he did blood work on it or whatever, let him recommend it. The food. The only reason why I'm saying that is I've had dogs on higher protein dog food. I had one dog, I was feeding him uke, and it was just too high protein for him.
Mm-hmm.
and it was running right through him. I went
Yeah.
with something with a little bit less protein, and it suited him fine. So
Yeah.
people just don't look for, oh, this one's got, 31% protein, 32. Sometimes your dog can't handle it. A
Yeah.
dog's system is no different than ours. Some people
Mm-hmm.
can handle anything in the world. Other people can't handle rich food. Some people can't handle lobster
Mexican food.
tail with butter. It's too rich. It's
Yeah.
buttery. They have a problem. And it's
Yeah.
the same thing with the dog. So I would recommend, like Margaret said, ask your vet.
Yeah. I tell them the first thing if they start talking about food, I say, well, the first thing I'll tell you is I'm not a vet. And I probably would, go, because even with my vet, I mean, yeah, I worked at a pet store before, one of my first dog jobs, and I used to study, they had us really read the ingredients and the labels. But, I would pick like 3 dog foods and I would go to my vet. I'd say, which one do you think is better? And, all this goes back to housebreaking. So we're not just talking about food, we're
Right.
talking about food. And another thing too, okay, how many clients do you have that feed table food?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Your dogs don't need variety. We like variety. Our system can
Right.
handle variety. Their system needs consistency.
Right. Well, and some dogs, like I'll take, like my dad's dog before my dad passed away. He had a little French poodle named Choco. That dog can eat anything and he would never get the runs. He would never. On Sunday, it was spaghetti day for that dog.
Wow.
There was sauce all around that dog. But that's one dog. I don't recommend people doing that. And please don't give your dog pork or chicken bones or pork.
Right.
Don't give him a pork chop bone. They splinter too easy and get caught in his digestive tract. It's not.
Mm-hmm. Then you're at the vet with an expensive surgery. But one thing I believe in too is I feed my dogs and the bowls come up. I mean, there are people who have little dogs and he can just graze all day. He's fine. But then, if your dog eats a little bit of food 15 times a day, how many times a day is he going to have to poop?
Yeah.
How can you anticipate anything with that?
Right. Unless your dog is completely housebroke and he's an older dog and he knows where the door is and you're not going to have a problem. And that's one thing. We're talking about puppies and dogs you bring home from the shelter or you rescue. Younger dogs, do it our way. Supervise.
Yeah. And you don't know.
Don't believe all of the rescue groups.
Right.
Yeah, he's housebroken. He's doing fine on this food. Yeah, they just want to place a dog. I'm not saying all rescue groups are like that.
Not all of them, but they're
very good rescue groups. But some of them just want to find a dog a home.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
Anything else? So people, what are you going to do? Remember, food twice a day. And I don't want to hear, well, my vet said 3 times a day. And the dog constantly has to have water available to him. Well, number one, the vet doesn't have to housebreak your dog. It's at your house. When he's sleeping at night, he's not drinking water in the middle of the night while he's sleeping. A dog can go 3-4 hours without water if you have him in the house, unless you're playing with him real rough. Then give him a little bit of water.
Yeah, he's inside in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Well, I'm down here in Florida, so we use air conditioning almost year round. But he's not out in a sweltering heat all the time or anything like that. Do not put a bowl of water in his crate 24/7. Like I said, you got to be able to anticipate. So we schedule it so that it's easier on you and easier for him. And once he starts understanding, yes, outside, no inside, then we can start leaving water with him longer and longer and longer.
Right. Like
You
we
know.
said, folks, this is you got to start somewhere.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You have to. So
Yep.
that's all I got to say about that, Margaret.
Yep. And if you graduate from the crate to like, a little room or a bigger crate or something like that, and then you start having issues, start back to zero.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to do that.
And don't, if you're not at home, put them in a crate. Don't take a test and put them in your spare bedroom or an empty room and shut the door. And he's never been shut in that room before. Then you're going to have your door chewed up, the bass
Mm-hmm.
down there, crying like crazy, and going to the bathroom because he's got all the room in the world. The kennel, if you got a dog that is no bigger than a laptop, a puppy, he does not need an extra large crate.
Yes, crate size. Mm-hmm.
That is important. A dog is a den dwelling animal back in the day. All he needs is enough room to get in there,
In there.
lay down, turn around and lay down. Exactly.
Right. Yep. And they have the crates with the barrier where you can make them bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can make them smaller. You can get, a medium-sized crate for like a Shih Tzu puppy, and they'll have the barrier, and you can, do that
Right.
if you want to. Some people, I've even had people put like, a big cardboard box in there before they came out with the barriers. But then we found some
Right.
dogs would chew the cardboard box. So that was fun. But now they have the barriers. You can put,
I shouldn't say this, but it man's best friend. A lady was having a problem with a little tiny itty bitty Pomeranian puppy. Well, Pomeranians are a pain in the butt to housebreak to begin with.
They're so little.
And this thing looked like this big.
Mm-hmm.
You know how we housebroke that dog? In a 5-gallon bucket.
Wow.
And it worked. Now
that makes yeah.
The dog was able to, now he held it. Because kennels are this big, the puppy was this big. He can go over here and went to the bathroom, and he laid back down over here.
Yeah.
So the 5-gallon bucket was as big as he was. He can turn around, he can lay down. And
awesome.
It was housebroke.
Oh, that brings up another thing too, is like, what will people do if they before they had the barriers, or if they don't have a crate with a barrier, they'll put like a pee-pee pad in one end of the crate and the dog's dog bed in the other end of the crate. It's like,
yeah.
I don't like anything in the crate. Just give them a couple like safe chew bones, but don't put a dog bed in the crate. Don't put anything, because they learn to pee on it and then they don't have to deal with it. The bed soaks it up. And
then using wee pads are a pain in the butt to housebreak a dog with.
Mm-hmm.
Because the dog in his mind is, why should I go outside?
I can go on
get a good boy if I go on the bed.
Right. You're not actually housebreaking a dog. You're teaching them to go inside your house.
There was one lady that I went in the evaluation, and she had 4 wee pads, one in each room.
Oh my gosh, that dog must have been so confused.
I said, look it. And she says, no, I want him to learn to use this pad. Okay, that's all there is to it. I said, well, don't put it in the middle of your living room. Put it by your back door.
Mm-hmm.
This way it's out of the way. And then if you want him to go to the bathroom, start making it smaller and smaller, like it's inching its way out the door.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But she didn't want to do it. She wanted that dog to go to the bathroom in the house. She is just, I couldn't talk to her. That's just what she wanted. I run into a lot of that. I don't know if you do, but people in high-rise apartments.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Because going down 5, 6 floors, you got to wait for the elevator.
Uh-huh.
And they want the dog. Well, I've got a balcony, and I can put the pad.
Oh, no.
They got the grass.
The fake grass.
You know, I don't know.
There's some things that, like, I have a fake piece of grass. It's like fake turf out on my. It's outside though.
Right.
That's because, some places have a place for dogs to go. Like I was at an airport with a service dog I took up to Michigan last month, and the potty area outside the airport was artificial turf.
Right.
So if a dog's not used to it,
Right.
But yeah, you don't put fake grass inside your house.
No.
I would not.
I mean,
Either the dog's going to go inside on a pad or it's going to go outside. Start with one or the other. Don't think that one's going to turn into the other.
Some people will do exactly what you say. And they'll call you during the week if they run into a problem or ask you a question. Those are good clients.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get the clients, I don't care what you say. They're not going to do it.
Right.
No. Well, I try to wean those clients before I even get them, because in my evaluation, I'll say, I don't know if I want to train your dog. I got to ask you some questions. I'm just not here for the money.
Right.
Will you do exactly what I say? And if I hear I'll try, I'm not going to sign this contract. I will do everything you tell me. Then someone, they're going to do it.
Exactly.
And it makes your job so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you're going to do it, go to some of these pet stores that have training, the treat trainers and things like this. But,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
And like I told a gentleman the other day, I did an evaluation. It's like, if you don't do what I say, I'm coming here for lessons, and all we're doing is spinning our wheels. We're just in the mud.
You're wasting your money. I don't want you to waste your money.
I'm wasting your time, and you're wasting mine.
Right.
So unless you're going to be consistent, not just you, but your whole family, if they're not going to be consistent, don't waste your money. So what I would advise, talk to your wife, talk to your other son that isn't here. If they're iffy, don't waste your money. Because if you're the only one doing it, and you're the only one that's going to follow through, you're the only one that dog is going to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And then the kids are going to say, well, he's still jumping on me. Well, he's still doing this. Well, he's still play biting me. Well, if dad's hands are tied or mom's hands are tied,
the whole family needs to be part of the process, and the dog needs to see everybody. You are his pack. Even though you are human, you are part of his pack. And so he's going to pay attention to who establishes themselves as the alpha leader of that pack, and everybody else, he's going to be like, well, whatever. So if mom is the alpha leader and she's got a business meeting that evening, or she's going out with friends, girls' night, and everybody else is at home, the dog's not going to listen to them.
Right. Because they know they're not going to follow through. So why should I listen to you?
Exactly. And also, if I've run into this where the husband steps in for the wife and corrects the dog for her all the time. So then when the husband's not home, the dog doesn't listen to the wife.
Right.
Or it can be vice versa. I've had it vice versa too.
I've been in lessons, and I'll tell the wife or the husband or whatever, okay, make your dog stay and start going down the hall. Okay. Drop the leash and just walk down the hall. If the dog gets up, first thing you say, firm no, go back to him, bring him back to the spot, and place him back to a sit or a down, whatever we had him in. And I get so many people. The wife will say sit, the dog sits, she says stay, starts walking away, the dog goes to follow, and the husband says no and grabs the leash.
Yeah.
No, don't touch. This is.
I'll tell him, stop.
Yeah.
Stay away from this.
Yeah.
She's going to handle it.
Yeah.
And I have to tell him, no. And he's like, huh? And I'm like, you got to let her follow through. Let her finish it.
And it's the same thing with the housebreaking. Everybody in the if the kids are home first, it's up to the kids. First thing they do, let the dog out of the kennel, put him outside, bring him back in, give him his water, time the water, and then pull it. And then start your frequent walks. If your kids are not going to do it, it's not going to work.
I'll have another one popped in my head. If you do have 2 puppies and you're letting them out to go potty and they're out there for 20 minutes, then you let them back in, and then 5 minutes later they go to the bathroom. What do you think is the problem with 2 puppies going outside at the same time?
All they're going to do is play.
Yes.
I got a coonhound mix here, and my miniature shepherd Nala, they're buds. If I leave them out there for 2 hours, all they do is run, play, jump on top of each other, bite each other's necks. They'll do that for 2 hours, tongue into the ground. Okay, but when it's time to go potty, I let one out first. I make sure that one goes to the bathroom, bring it in, and let the other one out. When it's done, then I let them go.
Then they can go play.
Right.
And that's why sometimes you can have different areas, like he's talking about having like a playpen out in the yard. So then put one puppy out there, they smell around, they go potty, you observe them, and you know that they have gone potty. You pick up one, bring it inside, then you bring the other one out. Once they both have done that, then you can put them in the yard together to play.
Right, exactly.
So dogs can get distracted. It's like trying to, potty train your toddler, and he's got all these little games in the bathroom, and he goes and plays with the games, and he forgets, oh yeah, I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, you think we about covered housebreaking?
I think we've covered a lot of stuff, and if anybody has any questions, housebreaking is something that takes a little bit of time and effort and patience, and just keep at it. And I tell my clients, just like Bob said a bit ago, if you ask questions in between lessons, you're going to get that much further, and each lesson is going to count more. So you have Bob's website. Mine is going to be this week. I am turning on the thrusters and going to be putting my website up, and we're going to get going with that. And Christopher's going to work with me on that. So we're going to get going. And, any questions you have, email us, rockindogs with a Z11@gmail.com. And you can send us any questions you have, any topics you'd like us to hit. And what do we say at the end of the show, Bob? Like,
subscribe, and share.
Yes. You remembered. I'm so proud of you. It's so great having you back. Amy filled in beautifully. We had a great show on grooming. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, and then I did, 1 or 2 by myself.
I watched it on the phone when I was in the hospital, because I was in the hospital for 30 days.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was in intensive care for 3 weeks. I thought I was going to die.
I'm so sorry.
It was bad. And like I said, just this week, I started doing lessons again. I went in the hospital, I want to say it was September 27th. I was in there 30 days, and I couldn't even walk to the bathroom and back to my living room without my oxygen machine turned up to 10.
Wow, man.
It was bad. But I'm feeling better now, folks.
I am so glad you're feeling better, and
Yeah.
Bob is back better than ever.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that, but I'll get
He's
there.
going to get there because I know you. You're stubborn.
So I want everybody out there to have a Merry Christmas.
Yep.
And Margaret and I will touch base with y'all again next Monday.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you.
Like, share, subscribe. Write to us. We'll help you.